Hello everyone, my name is Miro and welcome to recording 2 videos in a row on a bad hair day. Yes, we are actually going to do that. We are going to repot the hoyas that you have seen me show last week, hopefully, or at least several days ago, hopefully. And I have hoyas that I imported from Netherlands and that I also bought from some resellers. And I have hoyas from Betsy. What I don't have is the potting mix and the pots, but that is just an obstacle we will have to work around somehow. I do have some pots, but they're way too big. I'm very limited with these small pots, which I do need the most today. But anyway, the mixes do exist. There is like a hoya mix, but I think I might do something a little bit differently today, though I have not made up my mind, so currently anything goes when it comes to that. We are going to start with these because the potting mix they're in makes a bunch of mess and falls through the pot. So I just want to get rid of that potting mix on my tray, and then we were gonna ditch it. We're not gonna use it, but also I'm not going to work way too hard to clean everything. And I think I'm going to start with Hoya Clemenciorum that I got, which is very lovely. And I will just adjust you a little bit so you can see me go through the root. Just make myself as small as possible. And this one is actually watered compared to the rest of them, and I didn't water it, so that's why it's watered. And the roots, they look good, but I think it's only the look. I actually think they're not great roots because I did touch one of them, and yes, it is indeed rotten. Hoyas and their sensitive roots sometimes annoy me. They tend to look good on the outside, but once you get in there, they're not great. And this is not surprising to me because this mix is way too wet, and this was shipped wet and it was not warm either, so interesting choices were made there. But I am actually intrigued by the state of the stem. Hopefully we are not going to have any nasty surprises today. And by that I mean no rotten stems and no root mealybugs, but you never know. Sometimes life can surprise you like that. I do regret not bringing the scissors with me. I actually don't think I'm going to do a lot of cutting of these roots, and I'm not going to wash away this potting mix. I will try to remove as much of it as possible because it is a lot of peat, or I don't know, it doesn't even look like regular peat. Maybe it's that potting mix that people use for houseplants, the regular garden center potting mix, which I do believe has some clay soil in it as well. This is kind of what that feels like, which we don't love, but you know, don't expect to get plants for cheap and then a premium potting mix on top. You must be crazy. And I don't really expect it. I didn't even expect the plant to be so cheap. I expected this to be Finlaysoni, to be quite frank. So can't really complain there, but I would gladly pay more if that would mean good potting mixes. We are almost through. I don't know why they potted this in such big pots. We all know that they don't really need to have such big pots, the Hoyas, especially not initially. But there you go, they just plumb them in these. This is what, 10.5 centimeter, oh my goodness. Did we not have smaller sizes? Is that the issue? We're going to put this in a see-through pot and just, I think my Hoya potting mix, though I might do something else, I'll think about it. I have several options, but not too many. I would like to see this grow new roots ASAP. So I will probably water it with my regular water and then use Rhizotonic, which does help with recovery. Not sponsored. Oh my goodness, these are really rotten. Why? Oh, why? And then of course people will tell you, I can get that for cheaper in the garden center now. Yes, and you can get it with rotten roots. There's so much root rot in here that I think might be even better to start over. Oh my goodness, it's like completely rotten. Should I trim the roots? What do you think? Why are you never here when I need you? Actually, I think this one is going to go to the prop box. Probably all of them will go, at least temporarily. You know, this must be one of the tougher Hoya finlaysoni because despite the root rot, which is extensive, we do have firm leaves. So not all finlaysoni are as tough. I guess we're going to clean up the root system. So this is what it looks like right now, which may look good, but I will zoom you in so we can go through the roots. Hopefully that is close enough. Let's move this off to the side. Fantastic. As we can see, all the signs of root rot are here, which is, we can just see the outer layer of the root peeling away. Great sign. We love that. I'm being ironic, by the way, or sarcastic actually, to be precise. So I think I'm going to just separate root by root because we have a lot to go through. So this is rotten at least, oh, all the way here. Interesting. Is there more? I think it's where it ends. And then here, I do have to say I rarely see Hoya that ship well with their roots, especially from places such as these. Yeah, that's all rotten. And my scissors are getting dull, which does not promise us a good time. Yep, all of this is rotten. Is there anything good? Rotten. All of this up to here is rotten. It's kind of the theme here from what I can tell. The deeper we go, the more rot we find. See, I don't mind Hoyas with lower prices, that's fine. What I do mind is that some people will think that collectors are trying to rip off people, but a lot of the times you will get stuff like this from the stores and people are not going to realize that these mixes are just not good. These Hoyas are not always great. Like, sure, this is workable. I could totally cut off all the roots and reroot it, but a lot of the beginners aren't going to know that that's something they can do. All of this is rotten. All of this is rotten. Up to here, potentially further. This is the Hoya clemensiorum. Not great. I'm going to set it aside so that can dry a little bit. We lost majority of the root system. Let's not be stingy. Let's say all of it. There you go. Let's go with Hoya compacta. Mauna Loa. Also, it appears that the roots are good, and maybe they are. Still very wet. I don't know if the people who bought these plants watered them, the flippers, or if they arrived so wet, but it's too wet. Yeah, I can squeeze out moisture from this. And these arrived last week. They've been for a week here, and I can squeeze out moisture. So it's definitely not great. Though carnosas can take a lot. I don't like to root this one. It's easy to root, but when I was taking cuttings of my old one, because I had a pretty big plant, I always felt so bad about removing the leaves of the Hoya when I root them, and so I was very persistent. And it was hard to root this one because the internodal space is so tiny and the leaves kind of push the cutting up. It was pretty annoying. I think this one can go in the most regular mix that I have, just cocoa peat and perlite. It is a carnosa after all. It will go into the prop box, not because it needs the roots, but for the isolation purposes for a couple of weeks, because anything can appear except butterflies. These are decent. I'm not going to do anything here. That's fine. I will just leave it be. Now we move on to let's do the erythrinas. I'm hoping for some good roots. Seemingly good. I think these are probably all produced by the same spot because these are the same pots, though I don't know who makes these. I think At one point, Casa Botanica was selling them as well. So, but they're not the manufacturer. I think someone else makes them or produces them for Casa Botanica. I don't know if Grow For You still does this, but they were. There's a lot of chunks like these which I would like to get rid of. Those are not my favorite. We don't want the chunks. This one, decent roots so far. We will gently try to release them, though these mixes can sometimes be stubborn. They sort of have these, see, big chunks, and I think this is the result of not properly mixed or hydrated mix, if that makes sense, because I do think some of this is peat, and I know this happens when you don't mix, because, you know, it's compressed. And, you know, these people, they typically work quickly, so you don't have really the time to mix in things well. But this is very typical for peat mixes. These chunks, and you have to break them down, because they will hold on to more moisture. Because I don't want to re-root this one, I'm probably just going to leave this, because if I keep going, I'm just going to rip the roots. And that is not my goal, even though sometimes it may seem like that. Not amazing mix. Another. See, sometimes they're going to fall apart easily. There we go. We freed another one. And then the last one, Erythrina, the one that kind of looks the ugliest. I love how between these three Erythrinas, you can already see the inconsistency of this mix. This one is like filled with those big chunks. It's almost as if it's not the same mix, but I know the properties of this peat and it's the same. Okay, let's do this one. My leg is dying, so I have to move it. All right, we are making a mountain. So this verticillata, what the heck is this? For a moment, I thought we had RM bugs, just huge chunks. Can we break these apart before we use them? Another one, look at that. Just another huge chunk. I mean, I guess it works for them, you know, they root, and that's everything that matters, but long term, this is not great for the plant at all, because they're super dense, and it's not great for us when we get these plants and we are the ones who have to remove them. But I guess no one really cares about the end consumer, do they? I'm getting pretty tired of this, because no matter how you do it, you're going to damage the roots, like no matter how gentle you are. I'm getting annoyed. We have removed those as well. Let's do two more. And then we can get rid of this atrocious mix, which I despise and detest. I love how I say I'm not going to rant, and then I rant. I'm not going to complain because these are cheap, and then I just don't stop complaining. There we go. Most of it is off. I assume these are going to grow new roots and the old ones are just going to perish anyway, so typically what happens in these cases. My goodness, one more. Just the top is so matted and so many chunks. I don't know if I still have the mix that I made for my Carnosa and Rangsan, which had that citrus pond in it. I don't remember what else I put in it. Can someone remind me what I put in that mix? Because that one actually turned out pretty well for rooting the plants. The hoyas that are in the prop box seem to love that. So I'm either going to make something similar, because none of these are very difficult hoya. Maybe Clemencerum is going to get a little bit better mix, and then Carnosa can get like just the most regular cocoa peat perlite mix. But the verticillatas and Vitellinas, maybe we try in that. It's just a huge chunk here. I'm going to rip it. because I don't want it. I detest, I reject. It's a Hoya crime to use trash mix like this. The amount of roots I ripped, criminal. Let's remove this. And I'm just gonna take a look at what do I have. This is for, what is this for? I think this is the aeroid mix. This is with cactus potting mix. This is for the Beocarnea that I used. And this is the Hoya mix, but this is the good Hoya mix. I would like this for Clemenciorum. I think I'm gonna mix up something with that citrus spawn and some cocoa peat. I don't have bark though. I'm gonna check out the storage and see what I have there. I gotta order stuff. I do have Ceramis. Should I use Ceramis for something? I can just use this opportunity and pot Clemenciorum. Love when we have short stem. I do have enough of my Hoya mix to do all of them in. However, I would like to repot something else, and I don't think I'll have enough time for my stuff to arrive, so I have to use this sparingly. And when I say I don't think there will be enough time for stuff to arrive, it's mostly because I haven't ordered it yet. So that kind of is a problem. I will leave for a second. So we're looking for something. So I made something. Is this the favorite mix I ever made? No, it's not. It is a mix, and that's all I will say. Sort of like a poor man's mix. We just threw everything we had. And some of these things required preparation, like the cocoa husk that needed to be buffered, but I did only a tiny bit. I don't know why. I also put in leca. I don't know why. I did citrus spawn. I did vermiculite, I did cocoa peat, I did perlite, I did pumice, I did leca and cocoa husk, and I got something. Probably one of the least favorite mixes that I made, and that's all I will say about it. Sometimes you just do. Sometimes you don't have stuff at hand. What are you gonna do about it? Put me in Hoya jail. I don't care. They can now show us that they can be super resilient. I'm just gonna do Carnosa in the aeroid mix. So I have enough pots, I think. Just random, random, and random. And you know what? They are going to be repotted anyways. Once they have rooted more, I'm gonna repot them. So this is fine. This is just a temporary thing. They're going to be okay, most likely. They can show us how resilient they can be. It's like a challenge for the Hoya. It doesn't look terrible in the pot, so that's good. It's something. I mean, I've done worse things, so, you know, whatever. Maybe I discover by accident that this is the miraculous Hoya mix, and I start putting it everywhere. Who knows? Who knows? So that's one. I'm just going to do the verticillatas over here, or these Hoyas over here, so you can see stuff. I feel it's going to drain well, so that's good. That's always important. Some of these things are not my favorite ingredients, but once again, sometimes you just do. Those are the vibes. It's really only important that there is something. I mean, I could have gone just with pure perlite and call it a day, but we had to do this. We had to go crazy and not know when to stop. Just a little bit chaotic, but that's okay, because that is my vibe. I'm probably never going to use it again. Though again, who knows, maybe it shows that this is perfect. If you don't experiment, you cannot discover. Do you think that Einstein became Einstein by playing it safe? No, he didn't. So I'm not saying I'm Einstein, but maybe. of Hoya. For now, there is no proof that is the truth, but hey. So, we keep going. I did want to join these, but again, I'm just going to let them recover a little bit, grow some new roots a little bit, and then we can think about joining them, you know, isolate them a little bit of Alexis, a little bit of everything, right? That's what we're doing here. What a choice. I think I should have stopped at cocoa peat and perlite, but we didn't. Okay, and we have one more. Don't know why we made so much mix, especially since we don't love it, but let's just, I'm gonna keep it. Now my problem is I don't think I have enough pots for all of the rest of the Hoya, which is a problem a little bit. Let me just see. I have 3 more cuttings to pot. The aeroid mix, where is that? Is this that? I will use that for the carnosa. Though I gotta tell you, I don't love it. No, I will just use the same mix for the carnosa. Changed my mind. Though for frogfoot, I should also find something else. I don't know what this is the point of the video where we are starting to lose the plot. Because I don't think I can root frogfoot in my regular Hoya mix. And I don't want to try this mix for rooting frogfoot. Carnosa got this mix. She looks like she might like it. I'm going to get something else for the rooting, but potentially just cocoa peat and perlite in a different vessel, so I can root the cuttings from Betsy. We have to make one more trip and then we can be done. I'm back in this very suspicious edition. So I have here a mix of perlite and actually peat. You may wonder, didn't you just take the other ones from peat? Yes. But this one is not like the other one. And this is a leftover peat. I have a bunch of leftover peat, like a bunch that will never be used. And the reason why I wanted to try this is because, hear me out. You do know of Larissa and Margarita, and if you look at all the Russian growers, they grow their Hoyas in peat, and those are some of the most beautiful Hoyas ever, and they root them in peat as well. So I thought, let's experiment, see what happens. I'm just really curious. And it's fertilized too. And I'm probably not going to water this because I did, as I was mixing, it was pretty dry. I did water it, which I do not love the sensation of working with a damp mix like this. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of water with rhizotonic. It's very airy. I think it's gonna work for Carnosa because they don't care. They really don't. Need to clean this hand somehow. So, Viet cast, species Viet. This is actually going to be so tall for a prop box, but whatever. I'm just gonna stick them in. These are gonna grow for sure. I'm worried about species frogfoot, but we're gonna give her a go. And maybe it works. Carnosa snowball, allegedly. Not, probably. And let's just see how it works. Maybe it's a miracle, maybe it's trash. We'll see how this does. It's very chlorotic. So I'm gonna clean up my hands, find a prop box, water them, put them in the prop box, and put them on the shelf. That is my plan for the evening. Hello and welcome. It is several days after, why am I talking so calmly? Hello and welcome to several days after I initially potted these plants. Maybe I should talk like this all the time. Is this soothing? Certainly beats when I am overstimulated and I scream at you. It's been several days since I potted my Hoya and things are happening in this prop box that are fully expected. You do not see the prop box, so I will show it to you. There she is. And as we saw, a lot of them had roots. Some of them do need to be rooted, but unfortunately, frogfoot has lost all the leaves. These are the last 2 leaves that are left, and they're gone. So I will just leave the stem in there. The chance of this rooting are close to none. The chance of this rotting are 99.9%. It has nothing to do with the mix. This is just because this Hoya, when it arrived, all the leaves were already yellow, so she suffered stress throughout shipping. Oh my goodness, I look good today. Oh, snatch. Anyway. Don't comment if you disagree. We're just gonna leave it. Maybe there's still hope, but I doubt it. But I'm not gonna throw it away yet. Frog foot is sometimes a little nasty, evil B word. The next plant, what shall we look at next? Let's see Clemenciorum. Clemenciorum is looking good. I don't see any new roots yet, which would be surprising because it's been a couple of days. I don't know, it's been more than that. It's been 4 days, I think, since they were put in this prop box. 5, I'm not sure. No yellowing for now, which is good. When we see new roots, we will be happy. Essentially nothing else deteriorated. I am getting some mold on top of the cocoa husk, which does not make me happy. Not really sure what to do with that. I didn't really overwater them, but I think I'm just gonna let them air out a little bit. It didn't happen before. This doesn't happen when I buffer the cocoa husk. Really wonder what the issue is. Yes, once again, cream pants, go for it. Spill the potting mix. So far, everything is looking good. I was being sarcastic. I was being sarcastic, but okay. It's looking fine. I see some roots in this carnosa. They're looking okay. It's a little bit maybe too wet. I'm not sure. But they were really not watered all that much. But yeah, we can definitely see, oh my goodness, the mold is just growing. The heck? Should I touch mold with my hands? Probably not. Verticillata doing well. No pests are appearing, so that's good. I think I'm just gonna leave this open to air out. These don't really need to be in here. Another verticillata. I'm just monitoring the roots. All the roots, despite me ripping into them like a hungry beast, are looking okay. The only thing that I'm disliking is how wet things seem to be, which means that this mix is holding on to more moisture than I initially hoped for. Nothing is happening with these. The leaves are fine, no yellowing, makes us happy. All of them have mold. Interesting, the ones that are in pure peat don't have any mold, and they're not overly wet. No mold there. They're still rooting, of course. It would be a little bit crazy to expect roots in such a short time. Yeah, but all of these with cocoa husk, and cocoa husk in particular, that's the one element that's getting mold. So don't know what happened there. I'm just looking at these roots and they seem fine, so that's good. Where is the crappy? Oh, here's the crappy Vitellina. The crappy Vitellina still looks crappy, but it doesn't look more crappy, so that's good. The pots aren't even that heavy. They're like, it's not overwatered, so yeah. I'll just leave it to air out. What I might do actually, oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, the mold is concerning. What? I'm getting mold on the side. That's not something that has ever happened. Why are we moldy as AF? Okay, that has never happened. The mold on the side of the prop box, literally never, ever, ever. I've never seen that. So I'm starting to wonder if it's something else. Perhaps it's because it's in less light. I don't know. I'll have to think about this. I think what I'm going to do actually is I have some Ziploc bags, so I'm just gonna put these without roots in the Ziploc bags, and I will put the rest of them in open air, but like in the prop box. I will just not put the lid on top. I think that's going to be my way to solve this issue. I have noticed on some other hoes that I took out from the prop boxes that had cocoa husk they also got mold, like those, if you remember from my video where I had the crappy looking, it starts with a P, Pretori, now La Cianta. Those also got like top surface mold, surface top, bottom, I don't know. I have a headache. But those also got mold on the top, and those are under the light, but in low light. However, they are growing really well. The new leaves, like there's a bunch of new leaves, so that is making me happy. Seems that I have reduced light, maybe too much in my room around my hoyas. However, I will say I am noticing that I'm getting also a bunch of new growth. So we will talk about the changes, I guess, in the future. Monitoring stuff, this is like a digression, of course, with me. I was noticing how my hoyas are actually starting to grow. Some of them haven't grown in a while, and they're growing now that I took them out of the tent, and I'm like, what? I think it's because the light is reduced, but I don't think by that much. They're needing much less water. They're not getting so dehydrated. But they're also like growing fast. It doesn't make sense. I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to shut up. I'm sorry. I'm having like a massive sinus headache. It's all in here. The evil is here. So I have to leave you. I am monitoring still, but I think a lot of the stuff that I took out of the tent looks better. A couple of things maybe don't look as good. I'm worried about a couple of big plants, but I just think what those need is to be fed. They're giving me hungry vibes. So we will work on that a little bit more. I also took on a project that's very exciting, plant related. It's going to be a video in approximately 2 months, maybe a month, I don't know. We'll see how fast I can be with this, but something to look forward to. If you are a patron of mine and on Discord, you already know what this project is. So don't need to tell you. If you're not, you're just gonna have to sit around and wait. And that's fine. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a shorter one. It's sort of like a midweek thing. We're gonna do a little bit more videos until the new year, and then back to a normal schedule. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe this will be my new schedule. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful week. I have a haul for you on Sunday, and then there is another haul. Maybe my Hoya graffiti blooming is giving me a headache. She's so pretty. I moved them because I have to take a photo of them. I have never taken a photo of the green one, and I have about a day to do so because they turn very ripe very quickly. So they're not green throughout the entire blooming period. I'm just gonna briefly show you because I can't seem to say goodbye to you. But look at her. Yum, yum, yum. She's gorgeous. And the white one, forever blooming. I think I might have said this in one of my previous videos, and I was rushing, so I edited that part out because a segment was missing. But essentially, I wanted to tell you that my graffiti that had root rot are actually doing fine. We already have roots on the bottom with this one. And if you remember, she barely had any. So that's good. We have roots on the bottom. This one also has roots on the bottom, I think. It's a little bit hard to take her out. Yep. See? Recovered. Now I'm not too lazy. Beautiful white one. Hoya graffiti from China. We adore them. And with that, I truly say to you, goodbye. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal and Margaret Moon, Andrea Cherish, Angela Bernard, Anna Malia, Anna P. Aspen Drake, Betsy Brett Noble, Katie Revert, Catherine Molina, Connie Pagano, Crystal Despain, Daniela Danube Daniels, Daria W, Deanne Sikorsky, Edith W, Elena Saxon, Ellen, Farah Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geisig, Rositz Kyle, Hannah Matt, Scotland, Hoji Scott. Into the Forest, Jana Griffin, Jen C, Jessica Chio, Jody D. Gomez, Jonas Barr, Hjorth Larson, Cara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Christy Ehrlich, Laura Castle, Al Lindenberg, Lee Mooney, Lucas Yerchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Maria Zakova, Marina Yarmolich, Marty Miller, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun Roos, MJW, Moa Edmund, Miss Seidenhar, Anna Nayli Yang, Nicole Maroney, Nanguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ, Syke Sarah, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca C, Renee Church, Sharon Bones, Starla Von Lith, Subi Cordecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Vampire Siren, Van Alien, Xenia Green, Youth of the Volmud, Zaira Rivera, Zlakov Niponi, and A Flower. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Botany Benz, Kilone, Darryl Del Rosario, Eden Corlett, Holly Borner, Ivy, Joanna, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Maria Isabel, Monica Wykers, Nerdy Kathy, O'Here Plants, Ringlov, Tangwatan Nisria Cool, VH, and www.myhoya.shop. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Alice Borland, Ann C, Brandon Pacheco, Couture Helvetica, Deepanjali Rao, Amelia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Julie Lafford, Kayla Barbara, Kelly Ash, Kelly Gallagher, Chris Perez, Laura Jackson, Lorianne Subramanian, Luzmin Fernandez, Mary Diamond, Mary Rose, Amelie Spicer, Nerdy Kathy, Olivia Chin Mueller, Pacific Northwest Plant Lady, Pax Slydig, and Steph Fox.